Welcome to Twisted Dice. I'm Darren. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much for coming and checking us out. Really do appreciate it. If you want to be even cooler and you like the content we're pushing out Twisted Dice, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps us out massively and we really do appreciate any support you guys and girls can offer. So by just hitting that like, I think it's down here on the camera, not too sure, but if you can, that'd be really cool. And of course, don't forget to hit that bell because that bell is going to keep you updated on all the cool content that's coming out from ourselves, whether it be painting guides, battle reports, or even just us talking about cool content, fluff and stuff, etc. Let's get on with this. I'm going to talk about orcs. I love orcs. If you're new to the channel, you're going to find there's going to be a lot of orc content on this channel. But more importantly, if you're not new to the channel, you know that I love playing orcs and love going to tournaments with orcs as well because I think it's so cool. Now, 9th is here. 9th has been freaking awesome so far. I've loved it. I've lost a lot of games. I've won a lot of games, but I'm still loving it. I haven't been put off. Now, I want to put this out there that Horde is not dead. Horde is still alive and well and doing well as well, which is freaking cool. Now, the games that I've played so far. So today's video is more about, I want to try to get some feedback from you lot as well. Drop some comments down below. Let me know what you think is working with the orcs at the moment. If you've had a couple of games with 9th, tell me what you think's been really cool. Now, I've put a video up before. If you haven't already, check it out. I've talked about what I've found I think is good in orcs and how orcs are definitely the winner out of this edition. But I'm going to talk about what's worked for me so far. Now, I've had a couple of games where I played the orc boys. I love going the green tide. I love going Nighty Orc boys. You just don't leave home without it. There's some cool things in there. And with 9th now, it's all about board control. And Horde is definitely about like taking turn one, getting in the middle of the board, holding those objectives. Because believe it or not, holding objectives means points. Now, the biggest thing that everyone's saying so far is, well, you've got that thing where you lose out of coherency. You're going to start losing models left and right. Gonna let you on to something. Now, I don't know if Games Workshop is still doing it, but these came out for Apocalypse. Now, I've spent about 100 quid on loads of them. Yes, you can buy all different alternatives, but the ones that I like about this is when I'm losing orcs, I just make sure I take it off the same tray. That way, I know I'm in unit coherency, and I can't do the old Kong line. Well, you can, but you just do it too long, right? Yeah. Anyway, this has been really cool, and it's help me out play my game faster. Even in 8th, having these on the board, I can move the orcs up quite quick. I've never been that whole conga line guy anyway, so I've always played on these. It just speeds my game up. I don't worry about getting the guys in closer. Just is what it is. And I still do well with orcs. I did in 8th anyway. So that's one little tip. I played a game where my opponent smashed me with my boys, and with that, it kind of didn't do enough damage to do the green tide, but it came up some morale tests. I used my knob to do the morale to try to get it under. Wasn't quite enough, but then because I failed morale, because of the new phase where you had to roll the dice for each one, on a one they run, and guess what? It helped me get the green tide, and it's just what I needed, and that was massive to get that green tide off, and that kind of helped me swing that game back in my favor. So Horde is definitely not dead on that side. Board control, board being smaller, so you got that bigger footprint, stopping a lot of things getting down deep strike, but more importantly, they can hold objectives pretty well. Number 2, grots. Now, people have been crying about grots that they've gone up, they're no longer viable. Look, grots for me were never about, like, I play an orc army, so I like playing orcs. Grots were always there in the past just to grab to CP. So let's be honest, if you're a tournament player, you'd always took the grots for the CP. That's what you've done with them. But I don't think grots were ever meant for that purpose. And 9th, we're going to see grots now as more of that meat shield. So using the grots are what they should be used for. And that's about holding your back objectives, trying to screen off like things coming from deep strike, because you're not going to really screen properly anymore unless you go with a squad of 20, but that's expensive. Too expensive for what they do. But what they can do, and it's what they should be used for, is that the shield, the grot shield, and it's still viable. So for 50 points, that gives your looters an extra 10 wounds. I nearly said 50 wounds, but I'd be like, no, man. But it gives them an extra 10 wounds before you start losing looters. So they still play They can still play a big part in your army. So don't give up on the grots just yet. They still got a thing there. Oh. Now, another thing. So one of the units that I've been playing with and I've liked is the Mega Knobs in the power armor. God, they are so good. They are so good on this battlefield. So getting across that smaller board height, don't get me wrong, they haven't got any quicker. There's no magic there apart from the jump, the teleportator, and then of course you've got the what's the other thing? And all the new strats to bring them in from, you know, the corners and that's still cool. Like there's still some cool things you can do with the, you know, with these boys. You know, the Mega Knobs are still really cool. But the beautiful thing about this is the fact that they've got the 3 wounds, the fact that they've got the power claws. If you arm up right, you can go with the missiles if you want, but I think the shooters are probably the better way of going. Just to put purely for the Daka. These guys are about getting into combat, you know, really getting in there, you know, really cracking some heads against the enemy, and they've been cool so far. I found my opponents have found very, very difficult to shift. Not all my games, don't get me wrong. It depends on who you face. There has been a game or two where I played and they've just smashed off, but most of the time, those Mega Knobs have been strong. They've really held their own. Like, you're not taking this objective. And this game is all about survivability now. I believe it's about survivability. I believe it's about trying to last out, holding those objectives and trying to earn those secondary objectives. And these Mega Knobs can really definitely do that. That 2-up save is massive. Shame they don't have an invuln. Of course, if you take them Death Skulls, you do get that 6-up invuln. Not as good as, you know, having that 5-up invuln. Put a Pain Boy in there, you make him a little bit more survivable, which is cool. Of course, depending on what damage you take, but that's not a bad idea. Death Skulls, then you go Pain Boy, just give him that extra 6-up, feel no pain, and of course, then going with that 6-up, feel no, sorry, 6-up invuln. Get my words out. 6-up invuln, 6-up, feel no pain. It can make him a little bit more survivability. Don't get me wrong. 6s don't always roll as well as like the 1s seem to, but it just makes sure that maybe 1 or 2 of them survive a little bit longer than they can if possible, which is cool. I don't mind that. We've got, so they've been really cool, but another unit that I've liked is the Looters. Still play a massive great part in my list. I love the Looters. The Looters do well. I don't want to get rid of those Looters because the Looters can do so much like Daka. The only thing that hurts me now is the fact that before I would go 3 clans for the clan cultures, you know, Bad Moons, Evil Suns, and then Death Skulls. That's kind of dead now. With the way the older books are no longer valid in the tournament scene, we can't be taking the souped up shock attack gun anymore, which is, I'm not sad to see that go because it was really, really hit and miss myself. Everyone else to talk about, they're like, yeah, it hits all the time. For me, it didn't. So I'm not really missing that at all. The only thing I am missing is the showing off shoot again, you know, with the Looters, not having the Bad Moons. So going forward, I'm more like for a tournament side, I'm thinking about maybe going Looters, Bad Moons, and then another faction going with the Evil Sun still to get across the battlefield, because that extra movement, that extra charge is still massive for me in Orks. I still don't think that's quite gone. You need to capture that board quite quickly. Having these new objectives, if you're an ITC player, great, you know, it still feels like an ITC game. If you're an ETC or you just normally the normal GW missions, this is a different type of game for yourself. So you've really got to think now on what units can hold those objectives, because that's really, really crucial. And of course, my last one that I've been loving at the moment, or 2 units actually, the last one of the tournament side that I'm going to be playing with is the Death Dread. Death Dread's been really, really cool. I don't think I'm going to be taking it in the tournament side. I just don't think he's got enough survivability in there. He hasn't earned his weight in gold, but he has been cool when I have played him, getting across the board and taking out some of those vehicles. So that's been awesome. Ghazghkull. Ghazghkull's cool. Ghazghkull's really, really, really cool. I love Ghazghkull. Ghazghkull so far has been, with 9th, and like being able to get him across the board like that bit quicker, he's actually been a lot more of a pain in the bottom to my enemy. you know, having all the other units coming forward and putting themselves in the position they need to go, now Ghazghkull's got that ability to come down, deep strike, and or even just coming in from reserves. He's got that ability to be that pain in the bottom, and it's so frigging cool. So give Ghazghkull a try, because 8th he wasn't as competitive, but I think 9th we can definitely see more of a thing on there. Anyway, so they're the things that I'm thinking at the moment that's working for me. Drop some comments down, let me know what you think. It's more about, let's build this chat up, let's see what works, let's see if we can make a nice top tournament winning list. And of course, on the fluffy side, I'd love to know from the fluffy players what units you like playing at the moment in your fluffy game. So if you're gonna play a mate in your garage or in your bedroom or in your down your local club, what as a friendly game, what are you bringing for your friendly games? And for the tournament side, if we're gonna go to a tournament, what would you gonna bring in the tournament side? So they're the 2 things I'm looking for. Anyway, thanks for watching this. And again, if you'd like to do us an awesome favor, if you're watching this and you haven't subbed, please don't forget to hit that sub. Hopefully, I'll catch you all very soon. Please keep an eye out for the next battle report that's coming out for me and Ace. Tyranids versus Orks. This is just a fun battle report. This is not competitive by any shape, means, or forms. And drop us some comments on that. Anyway, you guys and girls are absolutely freaking awesome. Hopefully, I'll catch you all very, very soon. Interested to see your comments. Thanks for watching.